Picture this: the world of love and hip-hop Atlanta already a powder keg of scandals. Secrets and shocking betrayals just got rocked to its very core. Fans are buzzing, the cast is in chaos, and Mona Scott-Young, the queen of reality TV herself, has reportedly reached her absolute breaking point. For years, Kirk and Rasheeda Frost have been at the center of the show's most jaw-dropping storylines: cheating scandals, surprise pregnancies, explosive family feuds. They've been the couple that people loved to hate and hated to love. But now, word on the street is Mona has finally said enough is enough. And trust me, the whispers behind the scenes aren't just about contract disputes or bad ratings. No. The drama runs far deeper, and it's tearing apart the entire foundation of the franchise. So, why is Mona Scott allegedly ready to fire Kirk and Rasheeda, two of the most notorious fixtures of her reality empire right now? What shocking receipts has she seen that made her lose her cool? And more importantly, how did this picture-perfect power couple go from being the backbone of LHHATL to the ones Mona herself wants gone? Tonight, we're diving into the real reason behind Mona's shocking decision, the betrayals that left her furious, and the fallout that's about to change everything you thought you knew about love and hip-hop. Buckle up, because this isn't just another storyline. It's a takedown that will leave you gasping. From the moment whispers started swirling through the set of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, it was clear something wasn't right. The energy was tense, cameras rolling, but cast members exchanging side eyes that told a story words couldn't. Mona Scott had been unusually quiet during filming, her sharp eye catching every glance, every unscripted hesitation, every slip of the tongue. And then came the moment when she reportedly snapped. According to insiders, Mona had been receiving messages, DMs, emails, even screenshots from people connected to the Frost family. Some claimed Rasheeda had been plotting behind the scenes to manipulate her storyline. Others accused Kirk of orchestrating drama not for authenticity, but to protect his brand. Mona, who built her empire on raw reality and real emotion, felt betrayed. She was said to have slammed her phone down during a production meeting and shouted, "I will not let this show turn into their fake little circus." They're gone. The room went silent, crew members stunned, cast members whispering. The tension was so thick it could be cut with a knife. But what drove Mona to such fury? Fans know Kirk and Rasheeda have survived almost every scandal imaginable, from Kirk's infamous infidelity to Rasheeda's tearful confessions on camera. The couple always managed to bounce back, sometimes stronger, sometimes more broken, but always back on the screen. For Mona, though, there's a fine line between entertainment and disrespect, and Kirk and Rasheeda may have finally crossed it. Sources close to production say Mona discovered that a secret side deal had been brewing, Kirk allegedly trying to pitch his own spin-off series behind her back, one that would sideline Mona's control. Worse, Rasheeda was rumored to be complicit, holding private conversations with network executives, all while smiling for Mona in meetings. To Mona, that wasn't just business betrayal, it was personal. Imagine the weight of that revelation. For years, Mona had defended the Frosts, even when fans flooded social media demanding their removal. She stood by them when Kirk was exposed for cheating with Jasmine Washington. She gave them airtime when Rasheeda struggled publicly with heartbreak. She even shielded them when family members accused the couple of exploiting drama for fame. But to learn they might be plotting to cut her out, that hit differently. Mona reportedly told her closest confidants, "I built them. Without me, they wouldn't even have this platform. And now they want to use me, use this show, and then discard it. Not on my watch." Those words spread like wildfire through the production team, leaving cast members torn, some siding with Mona, others whispering that maybe Rasheeda and Kirk deserved to control their own narrative. Meanwhile, the Frosts themselves were oblivious to the storm brewing behind the scenes. On camera, they were filming their usual storyline: tense family dinners, awkward confrontations, and attempts to show that their marriage was stronger than ever. Off camera, though, crew members noticed Kirk spending long hours on phone calls, stepping outside during shoots to whisper into his Bluetooth. Rasheeda, too, usually warm and quick to chat with makeup artists, had grown distant, scrolling on her phone with a furrowed brow. People noticed. Fans noticed. And Mona noticed, most of all. By the time whispers turned into hard evidence of emails, recorded calls, even a leaked contract draft, Mona's patience had snapped like glass under pressure. The fallout was immediate. At a cast dinner meant to smooth tensions, Mona herself reportedly appeared unannounced. Cameras weren't rolling at first. This wasn't a planned scene. But once Mona stormed in, her voice echoing through the room. Producers scrambled to grab cameras and mics. "You two think you can play me?" she shouted, pointing at Kirk and Rasheeda across the table. The other cast members froze, forks halfway to their mouths, jaws dropping. Kirk, ever the calm manipulator, tried to smooth things over, saying, "Mona, it ain't even like that, we just talking business, you know we family." But Mona wasn't having it. "Family? You don't betray family. You don't lie to my face and then think you can run a side hustle with my name attached." Rasheeda, tears welling up, tried to intervene. "Mona, please, you know me, you know my heart. I would never," but Mona cut her off with a hand slam so loud it rattled glasses. "Don't you dare cry to me, Rasheeda. Save those tears for the fans." The room erupted. Some cast members whispered frantically, others pulled out their phones, already texting what they were witnessing. Erica Mena, sitting 2 chairs down, leaned back with a smirk, later telling friends, "I knew it was coming. They've been acting too slick for too long." Spice, caught in the crossfire, was said to have shouted, "Mona, just fire them now. We all tired of this fake love story." The energy was electric, the type of raw, unscripted chaos that makes love and hip-hop legendary. But for Kirk and Rasheeda, it wasn't just another scene. It was the unraveling of everything they'd built. Rasheeda whispered to Kirk, "This is it. She's really done with us." And Kirk's face hardened. "She don't run us. We bigger than this show," he muttered, though his trembling hands betrayed the truth. By the end of the night, Mona reportedly left with a chilling statement, "You're finished, both of you. Watch how quick the world moves on without you." And with that, she walked out, leaving behind a stunned cast and a couple whose empire was crumbling right before their eyes. The producers debated whether to air the confrontation, but Mona herself allegedly said, "Roll it. Let the fans see the truth." If true, this means the next season of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta won't just be explosive, it'll be historic. Fans will witness not only the collapse of Kirk and Rasheeda's reputation, but the very moment Mona Scott reclaims her crown as the untouchable queen of reality TV. And yet, behind the cameras, whispers grew louder. Some claimed Mona's outrage wasn't just about betrayal, it was about ratings. Love and Hip Hop has faced criticism in recent years, accused of recycling storylines and losing its edge. Could Mona's decision to fire Kirk and Rasheeda be part of a grander plan to refresh the show with new blood? Or was it truly about loyalty, about a deep sense of personal betrayal that no storyline could repair? Fans debated endlessly on social media. Some cheered Mona's rumored decision, tweeting, "Finally, get rid of them, they fake anyway." Others defended the Frosts, arguing, "Without Kirk and Rasheeda, there is no LHHATL. Mona's making a mistake." The internet was divided, but one thing was clear. Everyone was talking as the Frosts returned home after that disastrous dinner. The cameras reportedly followed. Rasheeda broke down in tears on the couch, whispering, "What are we gonna do, Kirk? This is our life, our brand, everything." Kirk, pacing the living room, lit a cigar and shook his head. "We ain't done yet. Mona thinks she can break us, but we'll come back stronger. We always do." But for once, there was doubt in his voice. The weight of Mona's fury, the threat of losing their platform, the fear of becoming irrelevant, it was too much to ignore. The walls were closing in, and this time, even Kirk couldn't charm his way out. The night after Mona's explosive confrontation, silence hung heavy in the Frost household. Rasheeda sat curled up on the edge of their bed, staring blankly at her phone as notification after notification rolled in. Fans were already speculating, blogs were already posting, and insiders were leaking bits of what had gone down at that cast dinner. "We can't outrun this one, Kirk," she whispered, her voice shaky, tears still clinging to her lashes. Kirk, leaning against the dresser with his arms crossed, tried to play it cool, but the truth was written all over his face. His empire, his reputation, his family's livelihood, which was all at risk. "Babe, we've been through worse," he muttered, though the words sounded hollow even to him. Rasheeda shot him a look, sharp and pained. "Worse, Kirk. This isn't just cheating rumors or Jasmine popping up again. This is Mona. If she cuts us off, where do we go? Who's gonna want us when the queen herself kicks us out?" As the tension boiled between them, producers were already buzzing behind the scenes. Mona's team, furious and fed up, began leaking even more details to the press. Suddenly, blogs were filled with shocking claims, allegations that Kirk had been negotiating secret contracts with rival networks. whispers that Rasheeda was planning a lifestyle brand reality show of her own. The narrative was shifting, fast and furious, painting the Frosts not as victims, but as schemers who thought they could outplay Mona Scott. Twitter exploded with memes. One viral post read, "Rasheeda crying to Mona like she didn't know the whole plot #LHHATL," while another declared, "Kirk finally cheated on Mona herself, and now they both done." The internet was eating it up, and the Frosts were drowning in a storm they couldn't control. But the situation wasn't just about careers, it was about family. Their kids, old enough to scroll the internet themselves, began asking questions. "Mom, are we really getting fired?" One of them asked tearfully, while another complained about classmates sending them screenshots. Rasheeda, caught between protecting her children and holding herself together, snapped at Kirk. "You see what you've done? You've dragged all of us down with your greed." Kirk fired back, slamming his fist against the wall. "Don't put this all on me, Rasheeda. You wanted that brand deal, you wanted that spin-off just as bad as I did. Don't act innocent now." Their voices echoed through the house, raw and angry. The kind of fight no cameras needed to stage. For once, this wasn't reality TV. It was reality breaking them apart. Meanwhile, Mona wasn't backing down. At the studio, she held a closed-door meeting with network execs, her voice sharp, her tone fiery. "I gave them chance after chance," she insisted. "Every scandal, every storyline, I protected them, and this is how they repay me. No loyalty, no respect. I'm done babysitting." Some execs worried, questioning whether removing the Frosts might hurt the ratings. After all, love them or hate them, Kirk and Rasheeda had always kept fans talking. But Mona shook her head, unwavering. "The show is bigger than them. The brand is bigger than them. We built stars before, and we'll build stars again. If they think they can play me, let them try. Watch how fast the streets forget them." Back on social media, the war intensified. Team Mona versus Team Frost. Supporters of Rasheeda flooded her Instagram with crying emojis and prayers, while critics dragged her for filth. "Sis been crying on TV for a decade and still ain't leave Kirk. Now she crying to Mona. Girl bye." Kirk, ever the villain in fans' eyes, caught even harsher heat. "How you cheat on your wife, cheat the fans, and now cheat the boss. Man needs to be retired permanently." The backlash grew so fierce that Rasheeda temporarily disabled comments, but it was too late. The damage was done. Every outlet from gossip blogs to mainstream entertainment sites was covering the feud, dubbing it the biggest love and hip-hop scandal in years. The drama reached a boiling point when Mona reportedly showed up at another filming session unannounced, this time with legal documents in hand. Kirk and Rasheeda were in the middle of filming a scene at their pressed boutique, trying desperately to keep up appearances, when Mona stormed through the doors. The cameras captured every second. "You think you can run businesses behind my back? You think you can turn my show into your marketing scheme?" she shouted, waving the paperwork in front of them. Customers and extras gasped. Staff froze, and Rasheeda looked like she might collapse right there. Kirk stepped forward, his voice raised. "You're not gonna punk me in my own store. Mona, I built my family, I built my brand, and I don't need you." Mona smirked coldly, replying, "Then let's see how far you get without me." The room fell silent, every eye on the Queen and the crumbling couple. It was a battle of egos, a power struggle that had gone way beyond TV. That night, Rasheeda confided in her mother, Miss Charlene, who didn't hold back. "I told you a long time ago, baby girl. You let that man run you into the ground, and now he's running you right off this show. Mona ain't the one to play with." Rasheeda sobbed, admitting, "Mama, I don't know how to fix this. I don't even know if it can be fixed." Miss Charlene shook her head, firm but loving. "You gotta decide what matters more, that man or your legacy. Mona gave you a platform. Don't throw it away for a man who never valued it in the first place." The words cut deep. Rasheeda was torn between loyalty to her husband and fear of losing everything she'd worked for, and the cracks were beginning to show. Meanwhile, the rest of the cast had plenty to say. Carly Red reportedly told producers, "I've been saying it for years, Kirk and Rasheeda fake. They finally got caught." Spice chimed in during a confessional, "Them to think they bigger than the show. But nobody bigger than Mona. She the boss, and if she say you gone, you gone." Even young Jock, usually friendly with Kirk, admitted, "Man, it's hard to watch, but Kirk did this to himself. He always hustling, but sometimes you hustle the wrong person." The unity of the cast around Mona was undeniable. It was Kirk and Rasheeda versus everyone, and the odds were stacked against them. As the days turned into weeks, the Frost's anxiety grew, calls from the network slowed, scheduled shoots were cancelled, and promotional materials for the new season quietly began phasing them out. Rasheeda broke down one night, sobbing into her pillow. "What if this is it, Kirk? What if we really done?" Kirk, sitting on the edge of the bed, lit another cigar and stared blankly ahead. "Then we make our own show. We don't need them. We'll take this to another network, another platform. People still care about us." But even as he said it, his voice lacked conviction. Deep down, he knew Mona's shadow loomed too large. If she shut the door on them, every other door in the industry would hesitate to open. The climax came when Mona called an emergency Alcast meeting, summoning everyone to the studio. The Frosts arrived, dressed to impress, trying to mask their nerves. The rest of the cast was already there, buzzing with anticipation. Mona stood at the front of the room, arms folded, her presence commanding. "Let's make this clear," she began. "This show has always been about loyalty, about truth, about giving a voice to the culture, and some of y'all forgot that." Her eyes locked on Kirk and Rasheeda, who sat stiffly, hands clasped tightly together. "You wanted to play games, you wanted to play me. But this ain't a game. Effective immediately, your contracts are under review. And if I don't like what I see, you're out. For good." Gasps filled the room, cast members whispering furiously. Rasheeda's face went pale. Kirk clenched his jaw, but neither spoke. Mona turned on her heel and walked out, leaving chaos in her wake. By the time the meeting ended, the writing was on the wall. The Frosts were hanging by a thread, their future in love and hip-hop hanging in Mona's hands. And the entire cast knew it. Outside, reporters were already waiting, cameras flashing, fans shouting questions. Rasheeda tried to shield her face, while Kirk barked at the paparazzi, "We good, man. Don't believe everything you hear." But their shaky voices told another story. The empire they had built was crumbling, and the Queen herself was holding the wrecking ball. The Frosts drove home from that tense cast meeting in total silence. Rasheeda sat in the passenger seat, her arms folded tightly across her chest, staring out the window as Atlanta's city lights blurred past. Kirk gripped the wheel, his jaw clenched, his eyes hard. For once, there were no words, no excuses, no smooth talking that could erase the sting of Mona's ultimatum. When they pulled into the driveway, Rasheeda finally broke the silence. "You don't get it, Kirk. She's really about to end us." Kirk slammed the car door shut, tossing his keys onto the counter as they walked inside. "No," he barked, pacing furiously. "She thinks she can scare us, but she needs us. The fans need us. Ain't no love in hip-hop without Kirk and Rasheeda." But even as he said it, Rasheeda could hear the cracks in his voice, the desperation in his tone. Later that night, Rasheeda scrolled through her phone, her heart sinking as headlines piled up. Blog after blog plastered her face and Mona's words across their front pages. "Mona Scott cuts ties with the Frosts. Read one." Another declared, "Love and hip-hop power couple on the chopping block." She read the comments, each one like a dagger to the chest. "Rasheeda finally getting what she deserves," one fan wrote. Another chimed in, "Kirk been dragging her down for years. Mona just speeding up the process." Tears welled in Rasheeda's eyes, and she whispered to herself, "After everything I've given, everything I've sacrificed, this is how they see me." Her voice cracked and she buried her face in her hands. Meanwhile, Mona wasn't done. Rumors swirled that she had already begun scouting replacements, holding secret auditions for new couples who could bring fresh energy and drama to the show. Producers whispered that Mona wanted a younger, edgier cast, people who wouldn't hesitate to air out their deepest secrets for the camera. To her, Kirk and Rasheeda were relics of an old era, played out, predictable, clinging to storylines fans no longer believed. "They've outlived their usefulness," Mona reportedly told a confidant. "And I refuse to let them drag this franchise down with them." The words stung when they leaked, and fans debated endlessly. Was Mona being ruthless to save her empire? Or was she throwing away the very couple that had kept fans glued to their screens for years? Back at home, tensions between Kirk and Rasheeda reached a breaking point. Rasheeda cornered him in the kitchen, her voice trembling with fury. "This is your fault, Kirk. All your side hustles, all your schemes. You couldn't just be honest, you couldn't just play it straight. You had to outsmart everybody, and now look at us." Kirk spun on her, his voice rising. "Don't put this all on me. You wanted out too. You sat in them meetings, you looked them execs in the eye. Don't act like you weren't in on it." Rasheeda's eyes widened with hurt. I wanted us to grow. I wanted us to build, but not like this. Not stabbing Mona in the back. You pushed too far. Their shouts echoed through the house, raw and unfiltered. For the first time in years, their carefully constructed facade as the strong couple who survives everything was shattering in real time. The chaos only deepened when Mona's threat began to affect their businesses. Customers started boycotting Rasheeda's boutique pressed, flooding her store's social media with negative reviews. Won't support someone who disrespects Mona, one comment read. Another taunted, this store about to be as empty as their storyline. Orders slowed, foot traffic dropped, and Rasheeda felt the ground slipping beneath her feet. One afternoon, as she stood behind the counter, she broke down in front of her staff, whispering, I don't know if we can survive this. Her employees exchanged nervous glances, unsure of how to comfort the boss who once seemed untouchable. Meanwhile, Kirk faced his own humiliation. His business partners began pulling out of deals, afraid of being tied to the scandal. We don't want Mona Scott blacklisting us by association, one investor reportedly told him before cutting ties. For a man who thrived on power moves and backroom deals, the rejection was crushing. Late at night, Kirk sat alone in his office, staring at contracts, his hands shaking. He muttered to himself, they can't do me like this. I made this show. I made me, but deep down, he knew Mona had the final word. As the frosts crumbled, Mona only grew stronger. At a public event, she addressed the rumors hit on. Standing before cameras, she declared, this franchise is about authenticity. It's about giving voice to real struggles, not scripted lies. And if anybody forgets that, they don't belong here. The audience erupted in applause, fans cheering her as the queen who kept it real. Clips of her speech went viral, with fans praising her, Mona, don't play. She the boss for a reason. One tweet read. Another added, Rasheeda and Kirk thought they could outsmart the mastermind. Big mistake. The tide of public opinion was clear. Mona was winning the narrative. The Frost family, however, was losing theirs. Rasheeda's mother, Miss Charlene, continued to press her daughter. You gotta choose, baby, you. Either cut ties with Kirk and fix this mess, or you go down with him. Mona will never forgive him. She might forgive you, but not him. Rasheeda sobbed, torn between the man she had built her life with and the empire she risked losing. Kirk overheard the conversation, his face twisted with betrayal. So now it's me or your career, he snapped. After everything I've done for you. After all these years, Rasheeda's voice broke. You didn't do it for me, Kirk. You did it for yourself. And now we're all paying the price. Their marriage, once sold to the world as unbreakable, was now unraveling under the spotlight. The rest of the cast smelled blood in the water. Carly Red, never one to miss an opportunity, called Rasheeda out during a filming session. Girl, you've been fake for years. Always crying, always forgiving. The fans tired of it, and so is Mona. Rasheeda snapped back, her voice sharp with fury. At least I built something real. Carly, what you got? A highlight reel of mess. The argument spiraled into chaos, producers barely able to contain it. Spice chimed in from across the room. Nobody bigger than Mona, and you know it. If she say you gone, you gone. The tension was unbearable. The alliances shattered. Kirk and Rasheeda were isolated, the entire cast standing firmly on Mona's side. The breaking point came during a reunion taping. Cameras rolled as Mona herself sat in the moderator's chair, her expression icy. The Frosts sat on the couch, tense and defensive, while the rest of the cast eyed them with thinly veiled glee. Mona wasted no time. Kirk, Rasheeda, you've been with me from the beginning. But somewhere along the way, you forgot what this was all about. You forgot loyalty. Kirk tried to interject. Mona, it ain't like that, but Mona raised her hand, silencing him. No, you don't get to spin this. Not anymore. The room erupted with gasps, cast members whispering, the tension so thick you could slice it. Rasheeda broke down, sobbing openly on stage. Mona, please, don't do this. We've given you everything. Mona's voice was firm, her words cutting. And I gave you everything. But loyalty matters. And once it's gone, so are you. The reunion ended in chaos, with Rasheeda storming off stage and Kirk shouting at producers, y'all ain't nothing without us. But deep down, he knew the truth. The Frosts were on the verge of losing it all. Fans flooded social media with clips of the confrontation, hashtags like hashtag Mona wins and hashtag Frosts finished trending worldwide. The empire was crumbling, and the queen was standing tall, The aftermath of the reunion taping left Kirk and Rasheeda in freefall. The once respected power couple, who for over a decade clung to their spot on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, now found themselves dangling at the edge of Mona's chopping block. The drive home was silent, Rasheeda's sobs the only sound in the car. Kirk's face was stone cold, but his mind was racing. Every move he had ever made, every scheme, every had all been built on the foundation Mona provided, and now, that foundation was crumbling beneath his feet. Back at home, Rasheeda collapsed onto the couch, whispering through tears, "I can't do this anymore. I can't keep fighting everyone. It's breaking me, Kirk." Her words hung in the air like a death sentence. For once, Kirk didn't argue. He didn't deflect, didn't manipulate. He just sat in silence, the weight of reality pressing down on him. Behind the scenes, Mona's decision became final. Producers leaked word that contracts had been terminated. The Frosts were officially out. Fans were stunned even. Those who had begged for their removal couldn't believe Mona had actually pulled the trigger. Social media exploded in a frenzy of celebration, memes, and even mourning. One fan tweeted, "Love and hip hop won't feel the same without Rasheeda's tears," while another posted, "Kirk finally got fired from something other than his marriage." Hashtags like #ByFrosts and #MonaSnaps trended worldwide, fueling the flames of scandal. Blogs ran endless headlines. Mona Scott fires Kirk and Rasheeda. End of an era. The Frosts are finished. The Queen reigns supreme. Overnight, the Frosts went from staples of the show to outcasts in their own city. The ripple effects tore through their lives. Rasheeda's boutique saw its weakest sales since opening, with longtime customers saying they couldn't support someone Mona herself had dismissed. Her once loyal fan base fractured, some defending her as a victim of Mona's ruthlessness, others mocking her for finally paying the price of loyalty to Kirk. Kirk, meanwhile, found his phone eerily quiet. The constant buzz of business calls and deals dried up. Partners distanced themselves, afraid of Mona's reach. His name, once synonymous with drama but still relevant, was now toxic. Even family dinners turned cold, with relatives whispering about the embarrassment. Rasheeda's mother, Miss Shirlene, hit her daughter with the truth, yet again. "I told you, baby, that man was gonna cost you everything. And now look, Mona ain't playing, and she never will." The Frost kids, caught in the middle, bore the cruelest weight. Online bullying grew unbearable. Classmates taunting them with clips from the reunion and headlines about their parents' downfall. Rasheeda, protective as ever, lashed out at Kirk in desperation. "You see what you've done? You didn't just ruin us, you ruined them too." Kirk snapped back, defensive as always, but his voice cracked. "I thought I was doing what's best for us. For them. Building something bigger than the show. I didn't think Mona would turn on us like this." Rasheeda shot him a look filled with years of pain. "That's the problem, Kirk. You never think, you just do. And now it's too late, and now it's too late." Meanwhile, Mona was thriving. At a press conference promoting the upcoming season, she leaned into the controversy, skillfully turning the Frost's downfall into fuel for the franchise. "This show has always been about truth," she told reporters. "If people forget that, they don't belong here. We will always evolve, always grow, and always keep it real." Fans roared with approval, and Mona cemented her position as not just a producer, but a queen who wouldn't be disrespected. Clips of her speech went viral, with fans hailing her as the ultimate boss. Mona Scott just ended Kirk and Rasheeda. With one snap of her fingers, one viral tweet read, "That's real power." The rest of the cast watched from the sidelines, some relieved, others shocked. Carly Red, never missing a beat, laughed during an Instagram live. "I told y'all, Mona don't play. They thought they was bigger than the show. Now look." Spice shared her own thoughts in a confessional. "Kirk and Rasheeda built a legacy, but they forgot Mona built them. Once you forget that, it's over." Even Young Jock admitted, "Man, it's sad, but they did it to themselves. Mona's the boss, you can't cross her." The unity among the cast was undeniable. For once, everyone stood firmly behind Mona, leaving Kirk and Rasheeda truly alone. The breaking point came when Rasheeda finally reached out to Mona privately, begging for a second chance. She reportedly sent a long message, apologizing, admitting fault, and pleading for one last shot. Mona's reply was short, brutal, and final. "I gave you chances. Loyalty matters. We're done." When Rasheeda read the message aloud to Kirk, she collapsed into tears. Kirk tried to hold her, whispering, We'll find another way, baby. But Rasheeda pushed him away. You don't get it, Kirk. There is no other way. Mona owns this world. And without her, we're nothing. Her words weren't just emotional, they were true. Mona's empire was too vast, her influence too strong. The Frosts weren't just off the show, they were erased from the culture they helped build in the days that followed. The Frost household felt emptier than ever. Rasheeda wandered through her boutique in silence, staring at racks of clothes that no longer sold. Kirk retreated into his office, nursing cigars and denial, still plotting imaginary comebacks that would never come. Their marriage, already fractured, now sat in ruins. The once unbreakable duo was broken, and the cameras weren't there to script a happy ending. This time, the drama wasn't for TV, it was real, and it was final. Mona, on the other hand, moved forward with ruthless efficiency. New faces were introduced to the cast, fresh talent ready to bear their lives for the world to see. The promos were bold, fiery, and unapologetic. A new era begins. The tagline read, as if Mona herself had written the Frosts out of history. Fans debated whether the show could survive without its most infamous couple, but Mona's confidence was unshakable. We built this franchise from the ground up, she told producers, and it will outlive anyone who thinks they're bigger than it. For Kirk and Rasheeda, there was no redemption arc, no comeback storyline. The curtain had fallen, and this time it wasn't staged. Rasheeda, once the strong wife who endured it all, was left questioning everything. Maybe I should have left him years ago, she admitted to a friend off camera. Maybe then, Mona would have forgiven me. Kirk, meanwhile, refused to admit defeat. We ain't done, he told anyone who would listen. We'll come back. Watch. But the world had moved on, and his words were empty echoes. The final chapter of their love and hip-hop journey wasn't filled with reconciliation or triumph. It was filled with silence, regret, and the undeniable truth that Mona Scott had the final word. The Frosts had played the game for years, but in the end, they forgot the cardinal rule. You never cross the queen. And now, their empire lay in ashes, the legacy they fought so hard to protect. Reduced to a cautionary tale, whispered in the halls of reality TV. And there you have it, the shocking unraveling of Kirk and Rasheeda, the couple who once defined love and hip-hop Atlanta, now brought to their knees by the very woman who gave them everything. Mona Scott didn't just make a decision, she sent a message. Loyalty isn't optional, and no one, no matter how long they've been on our screens, is bigger than the brand she built. Fans are still reeling, the cast is divided, and the streets are buzzing with one burning question. Is this truly the end for the Frosts, or is there one last twist waiting in the shadows? Because if history has taught us anything, it's that drama never really dies, it just finds a new stage. Could Kirk and Rasheeda claw their way back with a spin-off of their own? Could another network scoop them up and give them the second chance? Mona refused. Or is this truly the final curtain call for a couple that survived cheating scandals, public humiliation, and years of fan backlash, only to be undone by the queen herself? One thing's for sure, the game has changed forever. Mona Scott has reminded the world who really holds the power. And fans are left divided, some celebrating the Frost's downfall, others mourning the end of an era. But now, it's your turn to weigh in. Do you think Mona was right to finally fire Kirk and Rasheeda? Or did she go too far this time? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this conversation is far from over. And don't forget, if you live for the drama, the betrayals, and the jaw-dropping twists that keep us all glued to the screen, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe for even more wild updates, and turn on your notifications so you never miss a moment. Trust me, this saga is only just beginning.